Welcome to the TPC Desktop video series. In this video, we'll look at using what we call the windows or the non-docking views inside of Traverse PC. If you remember from a previous video, Traverse PC has what we call managers. In this case, we're looking at the Traverses manager that we dock to a side of the desktop. Okay? These managers, if you remember, were listed in the Manage menu up at the top of the program, and there are 7 of them here. This video we're going to look at the windows. So let's pull down the window menu here, and we can see that there are a number of windows available in Traverse PC also. The one that we're currently looking at over on the right is what we call the drawing view. So most of these windows that we're going to be talking about have the the word view in the name, and I'm going to refer to them that way in this video. The drawing view or the Traverse view. One of the first things we notice about these windows, like the drawing view, is that we don't dock them to a side of the desktop. So I can't pull this over here and have it stick to the side or auto hide it like I do with the managers. They're simply open on the desktop or not open on the desktop. If I were to bring up the Traverses manager and open up one of the Traverses, I can see that I can have multiple windows open on the desktop at the same time. Now only one of them is active at a time, currently the Traverse view. If I want the drawing view to be active, I can either come over and click on it, or I can use a navigation bar up here and say I want the Traverse view to be active or the drawing view to be active. If a view isn't open and I click on it like the report view, Traverse PC opens it in its last position on the desktop. To close any of these windows, I simply click on the red X in the upper right hand corner, and that window is gone. Let's use the drawing view shown here to talk about things that are similar with all of the views that are non-docking. First of all, I want to introduce you to the view menu. The view menu controls a number of things about this particular view, independently of the other views inside Traverse PC. I'm going to pull down the view menu and tell Traverse PC that I want to format this view. The hotkey is F9, so if I don't want to pull down the menu, I can just press the F9 key. The format allows me to change the way this view is displayed or shown or things about it that I want to change. If I want to change the way the mouse interacts with objects in a drawing, or if I want to delineate certain drawings or classes of drawing objects, I can do that here. I have some preferences as to how I display things within the view and what I use for a background color. Let's do that here, for instance. Let's change our background color to black and choose OK. And now I have a black drawing, much like I would inside of a CAD program. And these are the kinds of things I expect to change when I format a view inside of Traverse PC. I can also customize these views. So let's again pull down the view menu and choose Customize View. I'm going to click over here on the toolbar option and tell Traverse PC that I want to include a format bar. Okay? When I close, Traverse PC includes the format bar in the drawing. And I now can tell Traverse PC what color or what font size to use for the next object that I add to the drawing. If I no longer want to see that bar, I can go back to Customize and turn it off, or I can simply drag it onto the desktop and close it either way. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this right now, but for some of you more advanced users, I'm going to go into Customize View, and let's pick my favorite command that I want to be able to use here. And let's say it's a Kogo command that I want to, because I'm stationing a bunch of things. I'm going to take that command and drag it up onto this toolbar. Okay? And I now have customized my toolbars to include that command that I want to use all the time. Okay? So there's some pretty fine customization you can do here if you're interested in it. Now, inside any of these views, whether it's a list of traverse points or a drawing in this case, I can always put the cursor over an object in the view, right-click, and go to Properties. That's how I edit things inside of Traverse PC. You'll notice that the menus inside of these views are pretty standard. There's edit, view, tools. Usually edit has to do with editing objects or items within the view. The view menu has to do with how am I going to display this view, whether I customize it or format it or refresh it. The tools menu has to do with things that are specific to this view that I wouldn't necessarily find in others. And by the way, it's the place I find the print commands. Okay? We put them in the tools menu because if you look at this menu, there's no file menu. I don't actually save a drawing from here or save a traverse from a traverse view. I do all that saving from the desktop itself. So if I look back here, up here in the desktop, this is where I have my file menu. Okay? It doesn't include a print command because there's nothing to print for the entire survey. The printing's all done in the individual views like the drawing view. So the tools command is where we find the print. You're also going to find other pull-down menus for things that are appropriate, like Kogo, for drawing things or inserting things into a drawing. Okay? And these menus are specific or unique to each view. So the drawing view menu is different than what you'd find in the traverse view menu. Let's take a look at sizing or resizing these views. I can take any side of this view and drag it over to make it larger. I can take any corner, like the bottom left here, and drag it up to make the view smaller. But I want to talk to you about a couple of commands I think you're going to enjoy using inside Traverse PC. One of them is expand view. I can tell Traverse PC, make this view take up all of the available desktop. Okay? I want to see as much of it as possible. There's one right below it, command called fit view to page. So in this case I have a drawing size, I think this is a 24 by 36, and if I fit the view, I'm actually fitting the drawing view around the drawing so that I have the same amount of gray space all the way around. So it exactly fits the aspect ratio or the layout of that view. Now watch what happens if I do the same thing using the buttons in the upper right hand corner. So what would normally be the maximize button will expand that view to fit the entire desktop. What would normally be a minimize button is going to fit that view to the information inside of it. Okay? And that works for all the views. Let's go ahead and bring up a traverse view, and let's talk about maximizing and minimizing within the traverse view. Notice that I currently have this view set to fit to view, or fit view to data. So Traverse PC allows me a little extra space at the bottom and a little extra space at the right. If I were to come in and add information to this and choose fit view, Traverse PC is going to resize itself to fit that data. In fact, if I start entering data, Traverse PC will automatically expand itself as needed versus this inserting that I just did here. Again, I can maximize this view or I can minimize this view. If I have the view maximized and I want to get back to the drawing view, I can come up to the navigation toolbar at the top, tell Traverse PC I want to see the drawing view. If I want to go back to the Traverse view, I can either choose the Traverse view up at the top in the navigational toolbar, or if part of the view is exposed, I can simply click on the part that's exposed and see that view. So easy to move it back and forth between the different views. Okay, the last thing I want to show you here is something within the view format. And I want to show what we call a private status bar. I'm going to turn the private status bar on in the drawing view, and down here I now see what used to be on the status bar for the entire desktop. And let's do the same thing for the Traverse view here. View, Format, Show Private Status Bar. And again, all the information that was once displayed at the bottom of the desktop is now displayed in the view instead. Why do we do this? We do this because if I'm working on a system with a number of monitors, I might want to pick this entire drawing view up and move it all the way over to another monitor. Okay? Now, the great thing about having this view set up the way it is that the status bar moves with it, all my menus move with it, all my toolbars move with it. So this view is basically self-contained. I can place it anywhere on my monitor system that I want, and I don't have to be switching back and forth between one monitor and the other to issue commands or to do the drawing. Same way with the traverse view. I can move this any place I want, and all of the traverse commands, toolbars, and status information is right here in this view. Makes Traverse PC tremendously efficient when it comes to entering data or doing drawings or working with Kogo. Everything that I need is right there where I want it.